So I was asked to do a little demo of how I knit Continental. I've got this garter stitch swatch here. It's red heart on size 8 needles. It's 5 mm. And I start by wrapping the yarn around my fingers to tension it. I sort of grab it with my pinky, bring it over my ring finger and middle finger, and then up and around my pointer. So it ends up like this. Sometimes if it's extra slippery yarn, I'll wrap it twice around my pinky before bringing it around my other fingers, but red heart isn't particularly slippery, so I don't worry about that for this. And then to knit, I'm more of a wrapper, so I know some people use their right needle to scoop the new stitch through the old one, but that tends to put a lot of stress on my right wrist, so instead I stick the right needle through and then use my pointer finger with a little help sometimes from my middle finger to sort of grab the yarn here, and I just wrap it around. And I'm using my thumbs and my other fingers. On my right hand I'm using my fingers to sort of move the new stitches down, and on my left hand I'm using my thumb to sort of push the new stitches up. And then to purl, I just bring the yarn forward and I sort of hold it down with the pad of my finger, and then when I go to wrap, you can see the yarn kind of sliding around. So I can hold it back like this and this tension is tightening up the old stitch. Not a lot, but just a little. And then I sort of wrap it around with just one little fingery motion while the right needle stays still to accept that needle, that new stitch. And then to switch back and forth, it's as easy as knit a stitch, purl a stitch. I'm trying to go a little slow for the video, which means that probably all of these motions are getting exaggerated, but when I'm just knitting and not thinking about it, it's a pretty quick motion. And it's pretty similar when I'm just purling. And in the case of the purls, it's my middle finger here that's pushing the old stitch off, and on the right hand it's still my thumb and ring finger that are pulling the new stitches down. And if the yarn gets a little loose, I'll end up grabbing it and wrapping it around just to take up that extra slack. And more slowly, needle comes through, yarn comes up and around. So if I were doing ribbing, it would be knit 2, purl 2, and if I wanted to do 1 by 1, and sometimes it ends up wrapped twice around my finger here. Sometimes if there's extra slack, I'll just do that. And sometimes if it's too slack, I'll just sort of work it back up, pick it up again. Oh, that's it. Hope it helps. Happy knitting.